The power of technology is a resource some don't use to its full potential in the world of intercollegiate athletics. But for the Virginia men's soccer team, technology has been embraced and put at the forefront of its training, allowing athletes the best chance to be successful individually and as a team. Mixed with skill and a winning mentality, the results have translated into a trend of successes on the field for the Cavaliers.
You know, one of the things that's really important to us is our student athletes, our players, like your wellness. There's two ways now that we do this. We have an app through a company called Fit for 90. So I have the app on my phone, all the players have it on their phone. So every morning, we train in the morning. By 7:30, they're required to answer 5 questions. Rate their mood, stress, sleep, fatigue, and soreness. And by 7:30 in the morning, our entire coaching staff has a reading, not a team reading and an individual reading. And guys that show up red, we quickly check on it. Sometimes you're sore from the day before in a game, but a lot of times we find it's sleep. And in this college environment, to me, that's one of the biggest things is sleep. You know, and sometimes it's stress during exams. But by knowing this, we can deal with it. Sometimes we'll tell a guy to go home, and so sometimes we'll tell a guy you're not training today. We also have this year have picked up a system called Omega Wave. So this is a less subjective. This is more empirical data, where you're basically an electrode's hooked up here. You got a heart rate monitor. There's another electrode that goes here. It measures brain waves, heart, your heart beating, and gives us a reading too on your wellness. So we have a physiological kind of empirical data we get from the Omega Wave, and then we get your subjective, how you feel from another system, and we're able to use both of those to take care of our guys. We also have a system called Catapult. It's an accelerometer. It looks like a sports bra, and an accelerometer that's in the back of a sports bra, and it tracks a lot of things. Your total distance covered, your velocity, change of direction. One of the things in our sport that's really important are things like high-speed distance. So not just how much ground you're covering. I mean, there's a lot of ground cover. You cover up to 10 miles in a soccer game, but we want to see how much high-speed distance you're covering. We want to see change of direction. Really important things as they relate to injuries too. That's one thing we can really keep track of is your max velocity and the high-speed distance you're covering, because those are the things where you start getting injured. We have collectively over the course now of about 2+ years been able to kind of make indexes with all this data and all this information. So when you put all this together, I think we're operating this program like a professional organization. I don't think there's a whole lot of college soccer programs that in its entirety are doing these things.
It's a really good tool for the staff to use to monitor where we're at in the season fitness-wise, whether, how to keep us fresh and ready for matches. And it's a really good tool for the players too. I think we've really enjoyed becoming more aware of how our bodies work, and when we're performing well, what that looks like from a data standpoint, and how to maximize our performance using the technology available to us.
It's been a couple of years now, and it's just part of who we are, and I think they accept it and embrace it. And I think they know that all we're trying to do is make them better, and in general, it's really their health and well-being, and it's not to make them do more work. It's generally less work, or more specific work.
Patty Foss chests it inward. Foss. Slippery ball, and it's open shot, and a goal! Out of nowhere, it's Wesley Wade to make it 3-0 Virginia.
That's the key thing. Like, you can't have a game on a Tuesday night, and then the guys that didn't train, you want to train them hard, and you feel like to keep the team unity and do all those things together that the whole team needs to train. No, you can't do that. Those guys who played the night before, there's no way they can train the next day. But you do need to train the guys who didn't play. And the guys who didn't play in that game, the next day, will do all the same movements, and we can measure it with the Catapult, the high-speed distance, the change of direction, the ground covered, your heart rate. We can get them a game-like training session the next day so that they keep sharp and keep fit. So that's what some of this stuff does. I think it has made us successful.